Several months ago, I reviewed the Drevo Calibur 71, a mechanical keyboard that I called, and I quote, "the most competitively priced keyboard I have personally tested." I really liked that product, and according to the view count on that video, apparently many of you did as well. I was a little bit apprehensive to purchase this keyboard considering how inexpensive it was. So how does it hold up several months later? So this is how it typically works. I'll get an email from a manufacturer asking me to review a product. I'll spend 1 or 2 weeks with it, I'll make a review on it, and then I'll shelf it until I get around to doing a giveaway, at which point I give it away to one of you guys. It's not something I use continuously for a really long time, just long enough to get a general idea of what it's about and whether or not it's worth a purchase. This product was a little bit different because I was actually shopping for something for myself. It was something I was going to spend my own money on, and I had a very specific list of items that I wanted this keyboard to be able to do. If you want to know exactly what that list was, you can check out that previous video up in the cards. Suffice it to say, this keyboard checked all of those boxes, but at a price point that I was a little suspicious of. I do have some concerns with longevity. For example, will the ABS keycaps fade? Will the proprietary mechanical switches fail? Will the battery life diminish over time? Unfortunately, these aren't questions I can answer in the 2 weeks I've had the device. A few months and several thousand keystrokes later, here we are. I feel that enough time has transpired now that I feel comfortable giving a refined review, a long-term test review of the Drevo Calibur 71. After all, it's not very often that I get to have a product in the studio for this long. Quality was the main thing I was concerned about. I was afraid, given the price point, sub $50 is what I got it for, that it was not really going to last very long and I'd end up having to replace it in just a few weeks. Well, I'm happy to report that apart from the unavoidable amount of dust and crumbs you get between the keys, it looks identical to the day I unboxed it. There has been no fading or discoloration of the keycaps. Now, black keys especially tend to develop a more noticeable shine, while white keys have a tendency to turn yellow over time. The Calibur does come in a black and white version. I'd be interested to see how a white version of this keyboard has held up over the same amount of time. The clicky demeanor of the blue switches has not faded. They're still as clicky and tactile as ever, which I've grown to really love. And these aren't Cherry MX switches, but they have a very similar feel to Cherry MX Blues. And they all still work great. They still feel exactly the same as the first day I started using them. I've grown really fond of them, even if not everyone in my household has. The battery seems to last just as long as when I first started using it. Now, at the time, I said I had to recharge it every 3 days or so, depending on how much I used it, and I didn't think it was that much of an inconvenience. Using it consistently since then till now, I can say it's much more of an inconvenience than I initially thought. But again, if you're gonna get a wireless keyboard that has RGB lighting, this is kind of what you sign up for. I simply got in the habit of keeping a USB cable permanently plugged into my PC so I can simply grab it and plug it into the keyboard when I needed to. Has my experience with the product changed over time? Yeah, a little bit. When it comes to productivity, I still really like this device. I could type on the keyboard for hours even without a wrist rest. It's extremely comfortable and frankly just fun to use. Typing up scripts on this is really just a joy. I currently have the keyboard recognized on both my work PC and my home PC, and just with the switch of a button I can change between the two. It takes roughly 2 seconds and it doesn't typically have an issue doing that. One is connected to my PC via a Bluetooth dongle and one is connected to my work computer via the machine's internal Bluetooth. It doesn't seem to have a problem connecting to either one of those. It does lose connection every once in a while. While I'm typing, it will either type a long string of continuous letters or not type anything at all. It seems to happen more frequently as the battery drains, and moving it just a few feet away seems to really affect how reliable that connection is, but it happens so infrequently that it doesn't really bother me. But when it comes to gaming, it's a slightly different story. Admittedly, I did not spend enough time gaming with it. I said it actually performed okay, even wirelessly. That's not really the case. I've used it gaming several times since then. I tried to play Cuphead with it, which is a relentless title to begin with, and it was nearly impossible. Your occasional misstep when you're typing can typically be remedied with autocorrect. If you're typing, you probably won't even notice it. When you're in-game, the slightest misstep or miscalculation on the part of the keyboard causes enough frustration to endanger the integrity of the device itself. You get really mad when you're in the heat of battle and there's even just the slightest little hiccup in the connection. It's really noticeable and very annoying. So in productivity settings, not as bad. In gaming settings, really noticeable and very frustrating. However, I'm happy to report that if you plug in the keyboard, it runs as a wired keyboard. Now I have my MX Master 2S by Logitech. It's a mouse that I absolutely love. One thing that I don't like about it is when it's plugged in via the cable directly to the computer, it still runs as a wireless mouse. It does not work as a wired mouse. The keyboard works as a wired keyboard, so all the little misconnection issues that you might have completely gone as long as the keyboard is plugged in. So my advice would be simple. If you're looking to clean up your desk space and kind of declutter it, you can keep it unplugged. If you're going to be doing menial tasks like writing scripts or just typing anything in general, writing up emails, surfing the web, you can keep it unplugged. You won't even notice if it, has a slight misstep every now and then. Not a big deal. If you're going to be gaming with it, keep it plugged in and you'll be much happier. Even after several months of continuous use, I'm even more satisfied with the product than I was when I originally purchased it. I had some major concerns about longevity, considering everything the Calibur promised to do and the price point it was asking for it. I was skeptical to say the least. But gladly, I'm pleasantly surprised that it's been going great this whole time. Haven't really had any major issues, but if you're looking for the ultimate wireless gaming experience, this is definitely not it. I would stick to the big dogs for now. If you do the occasional gaming or you don't mind keeping it plugged in when you're playing more competitively, then it's a good option, but just make sure you keep that in mind. Well, thanks for watching. If you appreciated this follow-up video and you want to see more long-term test videos like this, then don't forget to let me know in the comment section below. Also, hit that like button while you're down there, and check out the video description if you want to know where to purchase this device, and also enter our giveaway while you're in that video description. We are currently giving away a Raspberry Pi. This you can use to create a NES retro console like we did over here. We've done other product reviews with other peripherals out there, and you can watch all of our other videos. We do tons of keyboard reviews, so watch those before you make a final decision, and consider subscribing so you know when our newest content is ready to watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.